Take a moment real quick to think about some of your favorite customers. Now, they can be customers that you're currently working with, some that you've worked with in the past, or some that you hope come into your space because they are ideal for what you do. Now, take a moment to think about some of your least favorite customers, the one that you dread, the one that you avoid at all costs. And it could be, again, the current customers, the past customers, or customers that you're going to avoid at all costs. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen this customer become this customer? In other words, have you ever seen some of your most dreaded customers, when they walk through the door or you have to walk into their office, all of a sudden one day make the transition to becoming some of the favorite customers that you call on or see come into your space? What happened? How did that transpire? Well, if you've been in sales for any amount of time, I know that you have those stories, and I will submit to you that what you were able to do, whether it was intentional or unintentional, is that you were able to make the most fundamental thing that has to happen to be more influential. You were able to make a connection. Now, whether you made the connection intentionally, whether you solved a problem, listened to a concern, help them to solve their problem, or help them to see things in a different way, you were able to go from I don't get this person and understand this person to this is my favorite person. And whether you were intentional about it or not, realize that the key foundation to be able to influence another human being is being able to connect with them. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can be intentional in making connections so that you can increase your influence as a sales professional. Hi, my name is Dwayne Huff, founder and creator of Influence Seminars. And other than owning my own company for the last 7.5 years, I started out as a sales professional, and I still am very active in selling today to promote my brand and promote my company. So what I've come to see over time that will help you to be intentional about your connections is 3 things, and we'll unpack them here in this video. Number 1, the first thing that we can do is understand how these people want to connect. Number 2, whether they realize or not, where is it that they connect? And number 3, the number 1 thing that you can do to ensure that connection turns into a trusted relationship. So let's get started with number 1, which is understanding how these people want to connect. Now, if you've been exposed to any form of behavioral style assessment or teaching, this will be a refresher for you, but well worth repeating because we can all use that reminder. And if not, this is going to be something that's new and innovative to you, but I'm going to invite you either way to below, there's a link to get a full teach on this behavioral styles thing that I did at a national sales conference that absolutely just was wonderful, and it will give you a deeper insight to what we're talking about in this short video. But people basically are wired one of 4 different ways, or actually a mix of them. You have the more dominant personalities, kind of like the Donald Trumps and the Gordon Ramsays from Hell's Kitchen. What? Too soon? Sorry about that. But you have those more dominant personalities, and what they're driven towards is a goal. And so they're quick, they're to the point, they want bottom line, and they want to know how it's going to be effective for them. They don't really need a warm, fuzzy relationship or to feel like they know you. They just need to know you are competent and confident and can get the job done. Secondly, you have the people like the Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Alvins of the world, right? Or if you watch The Big Bang Theory, this is Penny and Wolowitz, the more influential, outgoing type personalities, right? And they just want to have fun. They want to connect with people. They're the life of the party. And when you connect with them, they want to know who you know. They want to name drop, and they want to tell their stories. And so you have to give time for that. Then you have the third person who's more like the Sheldon Cooper or the Simons of Alvin and the Chipmunks, or your typical engineer. These are analytical, process-driven, linear thinking people. But the good news is they're collaborative by nature. Again, they don't need your warm, fuzzy relationship, but they want to know that you're competent, that you're telling the truth, and that you can prove what you're saying. And then you have the 4th type of person, which is the amiable type personality, who are just the mother hens of the group. They want everybody to get along, peace at all costs. And they don't want to be front and center. They want to be behind the scenes, but they want to know how it will serve the better good. And the reason I share those with you is because when you can connect with those people where they are, you have a better chance of speaking their language and adjusting yourself to them so that there's a better conversation going. But you have to connect with them where they need to be connected with. It's on their terms. And whenever you've done this unintentionally, you've done that on a certain level. It might have been an accidental. You might have even been intentional thinking about those things and keeping them in mind, but it's so key and so important. The second thing is where do they actually connect? And I don't mean in a physical presence, I mean where in the mind do they connect? Well, the research is in biology has proven that people don't connect on an intellectual level. They connect on an emotional level. Real quick, a neuroscientist pointed this out to me one time. He said, Dwayne, take your hand and imagine for a second that it represents the brain. This is the old brain, the reptilian brain, responsible for fight or flight. This right here, if we rolled it over, that's the center of our brain, and that represents an emotional, or the limbic system of the brain. And then the newest brain, the neocortex, is responsible for all the analytics, the data, making sense, and connecting the dots in an intelligent way. So whenever we resonate and connect with somebody, it's proven time and time again. In fact, there's a great book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Check it out. He really goes deep into this, far deeper than I ever could. But it just goes to prove that even though they seem analytical, or they think they're logical, or they're doing it for evident reasons, the reason is that they connect with you is on an emotional level. It's the part of the brain that makes connection. And then finally, number 3, we really need to consider what is the most important thing that we can do whenever we've made that connection so that we can build it into a trusting, ongoing relationship. And that is, we need to take whatever it is we are connecting with them for, or the reason we're there with them in the first place, the agenda, if you will, and set it aside completely. Completely let go of it. To be present, to listen, to ask great questions, and to find out, most importantly, what is it they want, need, and expect. And when we can prove ourselves without ulterior motive, without an agenda, the wall's lower. There's an old saying that says disclosure builds trust. If we can give first, if we can share something with them that adds value to them, and we can honestly be there to serve first, we create a connection, a bond, a rapport, and a relationship that lasts through time. And when you've done this, and unintentionally or intentionally, you've seen the people on this list go to that list every single time. So in conclusion, again, what we've come to the realization is that there are certain people that are on your list and you're avoiding them at all costs. But then there are those people that when they're your customers, you love them. They're just amazing and you wish every customer was like them. So today we talked about how to be intentional about making that connection. Again, my name is Dwayne Huff, founder and CEO of I.N.F.L.U.E.N.C.E Seminars. If you'd like that full hour teach on the behavioral styles that I did at that national sales conference, right below here is either a place you can put your name and email address, or there's a link where you can get to that. Go ahead and submit that. I'll send that right over to you so you can have that full teach, because it's so important to understand all these different behavioral styles in a fun and entertaining way that will really resonate so you can be intentional about it. And we really just visited 3 things today. You know, how do your customers want to connect? One of those 4 different behavioral styles. Where do they connect? In the emotional center of their brain, not the logical center of the brain. And number 3, the most important thing we can do whenever we connect is to build that trust in that relationship, and the best way to do that is set our agenda aside. So now you have the basics and fundamentals of being able to go and be intentional about your connections, taking every customer you see on this list over to this list and crushing your sales numbers and goals through genuine, authentic influence. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.